Hello, Keller Williams. Welcome to another live training session here from my headquarters in Austin, Texas. I'm your host today, Audie Pavlich, Director of Innovation. And today I'm going to be showing you how you can get started on Command. Today's topic is called Command Get Started, so pretty basic there. The idea is I'm just going to give you a real quick rundown of what is Command. It's a lot of things, but essentially it's not just a CRM. That's what most people associate with it because that's what they're used to. It's more of a platform, and we'll talk about the difference between a platform and a CRM. And then also I'm going to kind of show you and walk you through getting into Command and a few easy steps you can just kind of get started, get familiar with the territory, and get more comfortable with it as you explore all of the different applications we have in Command. And so when I talk about Command not just being a CRM, we have a lot of things in there. Obviously, it starts with your database. We have contacts and applet in there that allows you to manage your database and run your business off your database. As MREA, Gary Keller, Jay Papasan say, your business is your database. So not only do we have that element of it, we also have transaction management, real-time revenue projections. So the idea is not just to give you the technology to run a transaction and do a management system, but also to see how that correlates with your goals. How does that correlate with your capping, your CGI, etc. So we go a little bit beyond that because what's really unique about Command is this is one of the first proprietary platforms ever built by a real estate brokerage. And so how we build technology is going to be a lot different than how third-party vendors build it, just because we have such a much more intimate relationship with our users. I'm going to show you, we have some really cool updates on Sketchhouse or Designs, dynamic one-to-one marketing. You get access to a ton of marketing assets just by logging on to Command. I'll show you where that lives. Optimize cross-channel marketing. You can actually leverage Command to do all of your lead gen, digital lead gen from Facebook, Instagram, Zillow, or Google AdWords, and a lot more coming soon. And then lastly, I mentioned, you can customize and work your database. What we learned quickly is when we started building out Command and when we started, the labs methodologies, myself and the team, we spent a lot of time shadowing a lot of realtors across the country. And the only consistent thing I can tell you is that everyone does it differently, right? Everyone has their own system or their own model or their own preference. And so the idea behind Command is to build it on top of systems and models that Gary Keller and our research and publishing team have gone out and created and distributed, but implement that into the software, meanwhile allowing each individual user, each individual agent and team to run and operate their business the way they see fit. And so you're going to see a little bit of a balance of that within the platform. So before you get started, obviously you can jump on Command by going to agent.kw.com. But before we get started, a really, really important resource to you and everyone else out there is technology.kw.com. This is where you can explore Command, learn a little bit more about the vision of each application within Command. You can also explore the consumer app of how this is going to tie into so you can introduce value to your clients and your database. And so you can see the full vision of that at technology.kw.com. Highly recommend you check that out just to familiarize yourself with the narrative, with the story, with the vision of what we're trying to accomplish here. Now, what you're going to see today is what's in labs, right? And so this is, by being with Keller Williams, by even attending this classroom, you're participating in labs, which is where, we don't build technology for agents, we build it with agents. Therefore, a lot of the stuff you'll see in Command is still very early, kind of beta level access. So you might encounter some bugs, you might encounter some errors, but the reality is you have a platform where you can tell us how to fix it or how to make it better, and that gets embedded in the technology as well. And so what's really cool when I mention about building technology as a franchise, as a broker, is a lot different than building as a third-party software company. The reason is because we have systems and models here. Being the number one training and education company in the world, Keller Williams has built a fantastic knowledge base of just how to run your business, how to become a millionaire real estate agent. And so what you see here in this slide is the new lead gen model from MREA2. And so MREA2 is not out yet. They're still working on it, but this is the lead gen model Gary and Jay and the research team have been working on in terms of modernizing the old met and haven't met system from MREA and making it more comparable to the digital era, right? And so in here you see three pillars. You see lead gen, database, and sales pipeline. And the idea, it's pretty linear, right? You spend a lot of your activity in number one, prospecting marketing. You capture them and you put them in your database. And so we've changed the language between METs and haven't METs to contacts and leads. Leads are one-way relationships where you have maybe a name and phone number and you're trying to build a relationship, change that lead into a contact. Whereas contacts are two-way relationships, people that are in your SOI or you've past clients or you've established a dual path relationship, meaning that not only do they expect to hear communication from you, but you're expecting communication back from them, right? You've built that relationship. And so the idea is the whole goal is to work your database and to identify statistically about 10 to 12% of your database is going to move within the next 12 months. That's just from the average amount of people that move every year in the United States. So your whole goal is to know what percentage of that database is going to transact, right? And so by working your database, the whole goal is once you identify those individuals, you put them now into a sales pipeline. Now they're an opportunity. And there's two types of opportunities. There's nurtured and qualified. Qualified is they're looking to transact within the next 90 days, right? It's a pretty high intensity opportunity there. Nurture is more as, they're not looking within the next 90 days, but they are within a year. And so they're somewhere in there. So you're still going to treat them with a little bit more communication cadence that you would with the rest of your database, but just a little less intensity than qualified. And then from there, it's pretty linear, right? Once you get an appointment, your whole goal is to convert that and then get them into a transaction, get them into a house or sell the house under contract and close. And so, like I mentioned, it's a very linear path, but at any time, as you know, all transactions are not the same, and so you can jump from one to another. But the whole reason we spent some time showing this is what's really, really cool about this is that this technology, these systems and models I just showed you that the company has been researching and studying for over 30 years is embedded into the software. You'll see when we go to sales pipeline, you will see all of these as phases. When we're in our database and contacts, you'll see leads and contacts. You'll see words like connected, captured, etc. So what's really cool about this is we're embedding the top training and education into the technology. And so it makes it really intuitive, really easy to use, and gives you a vocabulary that you can use and scale your business on. And so here's what we're going to conquer today in Command. I'm going to show you, kind of run through all of the applets or the applications within Command. I'm going to show you some ways you can get started by going into settings, completing a marketing profile, crucial, so you can leverage some of the automation that Command provides. And then I'm going to show you how you can find help if you hit a roadblock, how you can participate in labs by giving us feedback to make the product better, and then picking your next steps, so you can kind of an easy path to get more comfortable with Command. And so before I move on, I just want to remind everyone, if you're joining us on Connect Live, I will be taking questions and ahas throughout today's entire session. If you're in my digital classroom, which I see a few of you in here, feel free to use the chat to ask me any questions, whether you want me to stop or clarify something throughout today's presentation. Or if you're joining us on Connect Live, you can go on slido.com. The number is P017, or just in Connect Live, you can enter in questions right there, or ahas. I will reserve 5 to 10 minutes at the end to answer any questions I didn't get to, but I really want to make this more of a conversation, so feel free to ask or recommend anything as I'm walking through the presentation today. So, quickest way to get started is go to agent.kw.com and log in with your credentials. First question up today from Bruce is, will this class be available / recorded to watch again? Yes, it will. You can always access it on Connect Live. I think it's uploaded a few hours after, 12 hours after the live training session. So if you miss anything, you have to step out, you can do that as well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go to agent.kw.com. It's going to take you to this Command application in here. Now, real quick, number one kind of tool tip here is by hitting the top left, this little hamburger, you can slide out and see all of the applications, or applets as we call them, available within Command. As you'll notice is, one, there's a lot. Two, I'll point out some of these are more mature than others. So you see listing consultation here, grayed out. It's not ready for labs yet. Some of these products are more mature than others. They're all within labs. And so this is really giving you early access to some applications that might not even be ready yet for you to run your business on, but you can still play with them and operate them and see how you can get value out of them and participate in a conversation on how to make them better. So Right now, this is, commands available for single agents. I know we have a question about whether this is available for teams. That's something we're labbing right now with a few participants, is how you can be a part of a team and leverage command in terms of like your database, your sales pipeline, which is in opportunities. So we are labbing with small teams, but majority of our users right now are individual agents. And so some features are for teams, some not there yet, to answer that question. So from here, I'm very quickly going to walk through the applications. Here in the dashboard, you can see a little bit about each one. This will be replaced with more of a reporting dashboard, so you can see your to-dos, your daily goals, and you'll be able to customize that, which is pretty cool. If we step into contacts, so this is our database, right? This is where contacts and leads live. And so what you can do to get started, you can obviously import if you're new to it. We have a CSV template you can download here to fill out, so you can export, import. Also via settings, you can integrate with eEdge and a few other applications as well via PySync. So really to come in here, there's, remember when I talked about that model, contacts and leads? Well, by default, you're going to be able to see everyone. But what you can also do is you can just see your leads, which will have this L next to them, and your contacts. And these are when we talk about the different relationships you have within your database. This is a really easy way to segment those two that are in our systems and models in our training and see them how they live here in contacts. And so in here, I'm going to show you filters because this just shows you all of the different fields you can have about a contact or a lead, including source, last contacted, date of birth. What's really cool though is we also have neighborhoods, and I'm going to show you how that works is by clicking into Amy Jones, for example. You can tell you can create custom tags. Let's see, my Wi-Fi is a bit slow. There it is. You can create custom tags. You can input a lot of information about the individual. So the left panel is where you can find information about this person. But over here on the right, you'll be able to see timelines. So you'll be able to see any activity that's happened regarding this contact. And when this gets really interesting is that anytime you send them anything via email or a website, you'll be able to see how they interact with those. And soon enough, when we launch the consumer app, if you introduce your consumer mobile app to someone, you'll be able to see a timeline of all of their activity on the app, which the whole goal is to make you smarter about your database so that when you engage with your database, when you communicate with them, you can provide value, right? You can understand where they are in the real estate journey and make that conversation be a lot more personable rather than just reading a cold calling script you use with your whole entire database. The goal here is to give you as much input, as much information as possible. And so from here, if we had an opportunity or a listing, we'd be able to manage it here. We'll be able to add them to smart plans. So this is kind of, you might be familiar with the concept of drip campaigns. This is a little bit beyond that. Right now, we just have one in command called monthly neighborhood nurture, which is really just a monthly email will get sent out with a landing page pre-created for this individual. And then you can see task and notes as well. What's really cool though is you can add these individuals to neighborhoods. And so what we've learned in our research is that the way people talk about real estate, it's not really about zip codes, right? It's about neighborhoods. And so the idea is if you have everyone in your database, either A, they currently live in a neighborhood, or B, they're probably interested in living in another neighborhood as well. It could be one or two of those, or it could be both of those. So what you can do in here is you can come in here and associate neighborhoods with them. So here in Austin, we have a neighborhood called Windsor Park. It didn't come up, so what I can do is I can view this map. And as I zoom in to Austin, you can see all of the neighborhoods, right? And so right now we're in kind of Barton Bluff Spyglass. So I can click all of these surrounding neighborhoods and say, hey, this person might be interested in these neighborhoods, right? And by clicking save, what's gonna happen is that command is automatically gonna create this website. We're gonna hit preview just so I can show you guys real quick. And what it's going to do is it's going to create a landing page with those three neighborhoods attached to it, and you'll be able to see real estate activity within those three neighborhoods. So you saw me, I just added 3 neighborhoods, and then I went and just previewed it. Now, this is a personalized website command automatically created for me. You can see those 3 neighborhoods I selected, And when you click in here, you can see listings that are going on in here. You can see a contact us form. You can see it's already branded towards me, right? In this example, I'm Bobby Moats, and I'm going to show you how you can set this up. So the whole goal of Command being a platform is that you no longer have to be your own platform. It automates, it creates things for you, so you don't have to do redundant things that take a lot of time for every single one of your clients. It can help you by creating that content for you. And by clicking neighborhood stats, you can learn more about Barton Hills. You can see all of the current stats and activity. And the reason this is a landing page, and you can, so in this example, if I just added Amy to these neighborhoods, I bumped into her and I knew she was interested in moving this area. I add her to these neighborhoods. Now I've created this website. Now I can send this website to her. And by adding her on that smart plan, that monthly neighborhood nurture, she's going to get an email that I can customize with this landing page every month. And from here, she can actually, this data is refreshed every 24 hours. So it's dynamic, right? It's no longer static. And so this is really the power of leveraging Command, is that you can create content like this super fast, super easy. It looks very sleek. And I'll show you how you can customize it a little bit later. But that's just a few things you can do within the Command applet that are pretty cool. Task Manager, this one's fairly young. The idea is you can come in here and you can create tasks and to-dos. You can do it manually. So I can create a new task for myself. And what happens is you can actually assign a contact. So I need to, what was the name of that contact? It was Amy. So Amy Jones, I'm going to add her to this task. And I need to follow up with Amy. Task description is I sent her neighborhood snapshot, oops, and I want to see if she liked it, right? Etc. I can add the hyperlink. So here's what this is. So the idea is, let's just say I sent this to her. I could have texted it to Amy, and I'm just giving myself a reminder. Due date, it's actually not all day. I want to follow up tomorrow at 5 p.m. because I know she's working, and I'm going to create task. And so now I've manually created a task. This is a task management system. So the task is created. So you see it's what I needed to today. What do I need to do this week? You'll see there's a task here to follow up with Amy. I can check that off. I can snooze it. I can do a couple other things. Right now it's manual. What happens is once you put them on those nurture plans, it's going to be automated. So those nurture plans, those smart plans include tasks. So it will auto say, hey, follow up with Amy, or you can customize it how you want. So the system is actually creating tasks, and you can be more proactive than reactive. So that's one of the applications. Smart plans, this is where I talked about those campaigns and nurtures. Right now we only have one smart plan. You will have multiple coming very soon. We're going to build a library, and then you can create your own smart plans as well. So that would be pretty complex. Really cool. Referrals applet. This is our most mature. This was the first one we created, and this is the ability to access all the Keller Williams agent referral network, which, by the way, is the largest agent-to-agent referral network in the world. So the idea is you can come in here and you can filter, you can search for agents in specific areas. So let's go to San Francisco, in the Bay Area, and as I zoom in, I'm going to see all of the units, the transactions Keller Williams agents have done in that area. So if I wanted to find someone, let's say in Mission, you can see there's 55 Keller Williams agents that have transacted in there, and now I can sort them. It's done randomly. I can sort them by maybe listing sold. I'm looking for someone who's done a lot of listings because I have a lot of people in my neighborhood moving from here. So here I can add Michael to my network. I can send him a referral, and you can track this all digitally. So no longer you have to do paper or Excel or spreadsheets. You can come in here. You can see your network of all your Keller Williams agent networks you can build across the country. And now you can come in here and you can actually send referrals. You can select the agent in your network. You can, put the deals of the referral in here, and you can actually now you can access your database, your contacts, attach them to that, and send that contact information, and then you can come in here and track all of that. So that's a really cool way that about, I think the stats say 5 to 8% of an agent's business should be referrals. You can leverage this network to really kind of harness that and grow your network, build relationships with agents across the country that you might have clients with, and in here you can create private private notes. You can see their stats, their bio, and obviously send referrals. And so we have training sessions for each one of these applets if you're interested in diving a little bit deeper. I'm just going to kind of touch an overview of them. Opportunities. This is where we talk about transaction management, but really this is kind of a sales pipeline. So we talked about, remember in that model I showed you, cultivate to appointment to active to under contract close? Well, now you see that in here, and you can see that you have that across your listings, your buy sides, your leases, and it all lives in one place. What's really, really cool about Command that's different is in here, we give you the probability of your potential and probable income that you will close these deals. And so if I have 3 active and my close rate's about 90% once they're in the active state, the system's gonna know is based off the volume of those 3 transactions, here's what my GCI is gonna look like 90 days from now. So the system is being proactive, it's being smart, it's helping you understand of what's in your pipeline and what does that mean for you and your business. And so what's cool in here is you can come in here, and if you're on a team, you can see all opportunities, or you can just see, for here, I'm Jessica Campbell, I can just see my opportunities. And so the idea is you can see a lot of very active on the listing side. I got this much volume, this much commission, and I can see all the different phases and the commission and the anticipated close date under here. So this application right here is probably the most heaviest, and obviously for good reason, because the transaction is the core of your business. But in here you can create new opportunities. You can put them in either one of those phases, and then within each phase, once it loads up here, and I'll click out of this guy. Well, within each phase, you'll have different stages, and that's where you can customize it and make it yours, right? We have the 5 phases from the systems and the models in MREA2, but once you're in here, you can actually come through and customize. Okay, once you're in the appointment phase, you have 4 different stages across that, and so it's taking a bit to load. I'm going to move on. We'll come back to that a little bit later. Lead Accelerator is really cool. This is where you can create, digital lead gen assets. And so by hitting this create new button, you can create a social ad, a social post. You can send direct mail, or you can do an email. If I do a social ad, for example, I can come in here and basically create an ad for Facebook and Instagram. I can hit test, I can set a budget. What's really cool is we've simplified it down. If you ever used any of those social media sites to do campaigns, they're very robust, very complicated. So we've worked with them to simplify and say, hey, what's your goal? Do you want to advertise a listing? Do you want event awareness around an open house? If you want to advertise a listing, go to configure campaign. And now we're going to make it as easy as possible for you to do just that. So by leveraging the KWLS, you can search the listings and you can attach a property to that. And what that's going to do is that's going to auto-import the photos, auto-import the description. And so the ad's basically going to be made for you, and then you can tweak it. My Wi-Fi is being a little tricky, so it's really not loading as fast as I want it to. But anyway, that's what you can come in here and do. You can manage all of your lead campaigns. You can also do social posts. So you can schedule social posts in the future, and it will post on your behalf by connecting your Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram account, which is really cool. And then lastly, you can do with Real Mailers integration, you can create direct mail assets directly in here and send them out. And so I'm having a little bit of a slow internet problem. But while that's loading up, let's kind of click out of here. I'm going to answer, I see some questions coming in, so I'm going to see if I can answer any. So Sean asked, do you think that we can add a filter to exclude a tag? For example, filter people tagged A/W who aren't staff. That's a really good feedback. So I love that you're turning this into a lab, and hopefully you've been on these before to know that that's really good feedback that we can actually make that actionable. You cannot do that today, to my knowledge. You can only filter by positives, meaning that it needs to have one of these attributes. We don't have if this attribute but not that attribute yet. So this is a really good example of, Sean, that's a great idea, right? We don't have that. And so if you're in command and you're saying, man, I really wish they did that, there's this little dog icon on the bottom right. When you click that, it's basically going to say, post an idea. And in here you can, Sean, I highly encourage you to go and say, you know, a really cool idea if you can do exactly this. When you do that, any idea you post in command gets sent to ideas.kw command. Now this is a really cool forum. It's going to ask me to log in because this is for Keller Williams agents only. But the idea is anytime an idea gets posted about Command, it goes to this forum and you can vote for it. So you can come in here and vote for ideas that you like. And basically our product team, our engineering team, our executive team, we look at this on a weekly basis and see, hey, what are the best ideas our agents come up with? What do they want us to build next? And so you can see number of contacts selected, when contacts are married couple, etc. People come in here, post their ideas, and then kind of have a thread and talk about why they need this or how they can make this idea better. And so what's really cool about this, when we talk about working with you to build technology and not just building technology for you, this is a great way to collaborate. Post those ideas, let us know what you want. And the whole idea is that the most popular ideas will rise to the top. And as you'll see here on the right side, we actually group them up based off the application. So if your feedback is in contacts and tags, I would ask you to come in here, post your idea, Sean, and then encourage your agents to come in here and vote it up. And so you'll see each of these statuses. We'll post them when we're reviewing, when it's in development. So tags drop-down list. And this is actually how we can communicate with you of what ideas are going to make it into code and develop, and we review every single one of them. So it's a great way to participate in the labs process and to kind of be a part of the journey of building the software. So that was a great example. Got another one from Boca Raton, Florida. The neighborhood for downtown Boca Raton is much too big and should be much more limited. How can I change that? So great question. Going back to the neighborhoods, right now, the way we grab our neighborhood data is from a partnership with Nextdoor. What's really cool about Nextdoor is they have the most accurate neighborhood data we could find because they actually have a social media platform around neighborhoods. And so the idea is we're working with them to leverage that data, but what we learned is it's still not perfect. And so something we're building in the near future is to give you the ability to draw your own neighborhoods if you disagree with the Nextdoor neighborhoods, which obviously is a problem in Boca Raton. I know if you're in California and you're watching this, neighborhoods are super important, and calling one neighborhood another one isn't really ideal. So that's something we're working on, to give you the ability to correct that, and then you can create your custom draw neighborhoods and share them with your clients. And so I think we're having a little bit of problem with Command in contacts. It's slowing down for me. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi or what. But coming through, a couple of other applications we have in there is reporting. If you upload your database, we can tell you how healthy your database is. The concept about database health is how much information do you have about that client. Do you have their name? Do you have their address? Do you have their email information? And the idea is the more information you have about them, the healthier that contact is. And we can show you, and I'm going to open this up again. Yeah, and I think it's my Wi-Fi actually, guys, because none of my sites are working. But I'll keep going. We'll get that fixed. And so the idea is you can do reporting, you can do email campaigns, you can do designs. We're about to release and I'm teasing, but later this week, we're 60 new designs you can use for your own ads, for your direct mail campaigns, etc. We have a marketing team in-house that's building designs daily that we're going to upload. And very much like you would in Canva, you can go and edit and customize them, make them feel and look like you. And so that's a really cool new application, that new feature we're rolling out. And let me see if I can get connects up. It's really commands down. And so being in labs, this is bound to happen sometimes, which is unfortunate, but because we're building and deploying on a weekly basis, sometimes you can have some engineering failures, which is totally okay because we're in labs. The whole goal for us is to build this, to evolve it with you and get it to a point where you feel comfortable using this to run your business. And if we're not there yet, 100% understand. And so these are the other ones. I kind of mentioned reporting. I'll just show you some visuals, what this looks like. So based off of how many people you have in your database, this will be filled out. You'll see your health. You'll see what percentage have all of these assets and what's the last time you contacted them as well. Email campaigns is going to merge with lead accelerators. That's a way to just create email campaigns, much just like social media one. And this one's really cool. You can come in here and you can create new assets that you can share. So I can come in here. Let's say I want to create social media ad, create template. What this is going to do is it's going to take me out to an editor where I can custom create assets by leveraging the library Keller Williams provides for me, or I can custom create anything from scratch. So this is a really cool, powerful marketing tool that you could come in and rebrand KW assets to fit your own, or create your own from scratch. as you can see, we have a partnership with Rebrand. I feel like they're having some challenges as well. But we'll keep moving forward. So those are the applets. What's really interesting, when we talk about customizing, and I'm going to go back just to move things along. Talk about customizing it for you. When you go to settings, one of the first things I'm going to encourage you to do when you log on to Command, now you see the lay of land and you see all the applets within Command that you can explore and see some more live training sessions on, is you saw me do some things like I posted a social media ad, right? Or I sent an email from Command. And so in order to do that, you have to come in here and kind of sync up a lot of different tools. As you see, I've come in here and I have my Facebook and Twitter account synced up. I want to be able to send SMS from Command, so I have Twilio in here. So this is what we talk about being a platform, right? This is different. This is new. What you're seeing is a slew of third-party connected apps integrated with the platform. So what this means is think about your iPhone. Your iPhone, the iPhone or the Android phone is an operating system. It's really a platform. There's a couple of default apps that you use. Use text messaging, use FaceTime if you're on the iPhone, etc. Use the iCloud. But then you also download third-party applications, right? You download Spotify to listen to music. You download Netflix so you can watch shows. Well, the platform supports all of those partners. You're still watching it on your iPad, but you get access to thousands and hundreds of thousands of different applications that help you customize that phone to fit your need or whatever you want. That's the same concept with Command. I anticipate everyone's Command is going to look and feel a little differently. We'll have our systems and models. We'll have our default applications, right, and our default systems. But we're also going to have a platform where third-party integrators can plug in and provide services to you via the platform. And the whole point of doing this as a broker is that to play by our rules, right? We create the standards and the regulations about how they can interact with your data, that they can't mimic or copy any data assets. And so the whole goal to do this is to have you become the tech-enabled agent, to empower you with a system like this, but also protect your data. Your data is your business, and it's really important. We couldn't do that if we leveraged a third-party system, but because we built this from scratch ourselves, we can do that. And that's where these conversations get really powerful and exciting. It's about building an operating system for your business. And so this is everything you can do in settings. What I'm going to do is I showed you how I could create some really quick marketing assets that are branded to me, like that neighborhood landing page. And the reason I did that is because I came in here and I set up a marketing profile. As you see, we set it up for Bobby Moats. There's his photo, his team logo, and we filled out some information about him. Now, what's really cool is that you'll see we have this marketing profile Kelly guide. And these Kelly guides, you're going to see them a lot more often. This is a really simple way to get you set up for Command. And so in here in settings, we've snuck one in to help you get set up for smart plans. And it's going to talk about how by completing your marketing profile, which means putting your photo and information about you so we can reuse it to auto-create stuff for you, we can actually activate those smart plans, those monthly neighborhood nurtures. And I'll show you how you can do that. So you can get started. I'm going to skip through this one because you can see we've already done it, right? I can click through and I can upload photos. And Bobby's gone through and done me a favor and he's filled all this out, right? So this is a really quick way you can kind of walk through this and guide. The Kelly guides you with showing if I put my Facebook link there, it's going to show up. It's my legal footer next. And this is kind of to help you walk through setting up your marketing profile perfect. Now we can create assets that look and feel like you. Now let's say you want to email them. We need a reply to email address. So Bobby, don't mind if I put your email down here for everyone to see. I'm going to save that change. Now that's the reply to email address. Perfect. So now we have the ability to customize marketing sites for you. We have your email address, and now it's going to walk me through how I can add them to that neighborhood nurture. So what's really cool is I already kind of showed you how you can do this by clicking this Add Neighborhood button in Contacts. So the marketing guide is going to walk you through that, but it's also going to show you that 2 out of 11 of my contact records have one associated neighborhood, right? And so that's where the system's getting smart and interactive, and it's telling me how I can do this. And so next up is how I can manage sites. I can create custom landing pages. I showed you a default one that Command creates for you. You can go in and create your own, which is really powerful. And so By completing this, now I'm set up for success. Now I can actually go out and do this real time, and it'll show me your IDX sites waiting. You can beef up your smart plan, or you can check out the new templates that you can customize in Sketchhouse. By clicking go to IDX sites, now that's going to take me to the landing pages application where I can custom create landing pages if I don't like the one. This is the default one you're about to see that we use. You can come in here and customize it how you want it to look and feel for you. And so this is where it gets really, really heavy, but it's a great way to, go to settings, at least set up your marketing profile, and now you can start using some of the more complex applications and tools provided in Command. Sean asked another question. Is there a way you can reset your reporting? I teach a lot and create examples that skew my reporting. Sean, unfortunately, no. That's really good feedback. And I know when you're teaching, this is a great way to do it, is to show, right? That's how I prefer to do it as well. But there's really no way to filter out. This is going to pull and actually refreshes every few hours from your database. And so it's going to pull them in here. And this is what Sean was talking about. You can see my database is healthy, it's green, it's over 50%, 62, because I'm really good at getting phone numbers and emails. However, as you can see, I'm pretty poor at addresses in the neighborhood, and that's kind of hurting my score. And then you look at the last time I talked to my contacts, my database, 90% of my database I haven't talked to in more than 91 days. Is that good or is that bad? Pretty bad, right? So this is a great way to just give you some quick stats without you having to do anything about where you are, how healthy your database is, and how healthy you're working your database. And a really cool another feature is you can compare against all KW agents on Command. And so you can see how you stack up against the competition. You can see agents in your market center, agents in your state, and agents in different production brackets, right? So how do the top agents using Command stack up against me? So that's a really cool way to kind of compare. Unfortunately, Sean, to answer your question, there's no way you can reset any of this. You just have to go and kind of delete them from your database and wait a few hours, and it should refresh your reporting or remove them out of it. If that answers your question. Cool. So we talked about settings, talked about marketing profile, how to find help. So this is, what you've noticed is there's a lot about Command. And I like doing this one, and I like to kind of show you everything Command can do really quickly, which is really hard to do because it can do a lot. But the idea is, it is a lot. And it's hard, it can be intimidating, and there's obviously the fear of switching from one system to another, or if you don't have a system, you probably have something you're more comfortable with. And so the whole goal of this, and keep in mind, Gary Keller, the author of MREA, he's a big driver of digitizing this so you can run and operate your business to be the best agent you can be, right? We study the top agents in the country, in the world all the time to see what their best practices are and to bet them into this technology. And so it can be unfamiliar, it can be new, and sometimes with new comes fear. So there's a couple things you can do. If you have a good idea, if you don't see in Command, you can always hit it here. If you have a bug or you can't access something or you challenge, we have the support button here, and you can actually contact our support. You can do it by support@kw.com. You can email them, or directly in Command, you can get access to support and figure out what's blocking you, or if there's anything, there's an error with your account, you can get help there. Now, what's really powerful is this question mark in the top right. If you click that, that's going to give you access to KW. All the training and material that we're developing on how to use Command lives in here, and you can access it without leaving Command. So importing contacts. Hey, if you're looking at this, man, cool, I want to try this out. Maybe I want to import like 20 contacts and play around with it. You can come in here. We have a how-to video of how to import contacts. And then we have also a step-by-step. We have images and GIFs that can show you how you can do it. And you never have to leave, right? Now I can come back, click in here, I can click the question mark again, and I'm still there. And so this is a really powerful way for you to follow along and learn within the system. What's also cool is that depending on which application you're in, and what's really challenging is that our training team is keeping up with our developers and engineers as we're rolling out features every week. We also have to update the training, and so it's a really challenging job. But depending on which applet you're in is which training pages you get access to. So again, really powerful tool. We have more being updated on a weekly basis, and you can kind of open it up in a different different tab on answers.kw.com and follow along and kind of learn more in here. And so this is another really powerful way you can get help. And then lastly is just go to Command Training, Connect Live. Go to KW Connect, and I'm going to show you can do that. And under here, resources, click Connect Live. And so this is how you can, obviously you've accessed this live stream, you can access more, you can attend these trainings. And then if you go to Technology, Tech-Enabled Agent, you can learn a little bit more about what's going on. You can see different live stream training, different guides, how-tos that we've uploaded on here. And really we're trying to empower you with as much resources as possible to not just educate you, but empower you to educate your colleagues as well, your market center as well. And so please don't, I always encourage people to go around, play around with Command. That's the quickest way to learn. But if you hit a roadblock, don't be intimidated. There's plenty of resources, and you're not the only one. There's a lot of people that are trying this for the first time. There's a lot of new stuff in here, and so by participating, by buying into this, these resources and attending these live stream trainings, you can get really educated about the technology infrastructure fairly quickly. Trust me, I've seen a lot of people attend one or two of these live streams, and soon enough they become regulars. They're teaching it, they're using it to run their system, they're doing some really creative things, and most importantly, they're giving us the best feedback how to make it better. So Bruce has a comment or an aha, which I always appreciate. It says, KW support has been awesome. They respond by email right away, and if there's not a fix or they have to pass it on to someone else, they keep me in the loop even weeks later. Yeah, we have a whole, not only do we have support, we have a new team, new department here at Keller Williams called the Agent Success Team that reach out and call and talk to agents to make sure that they're using Command, to understand how they can make Command better, and if not, would they communicate to our leadership of what's missing from Command, and people might be intimidated or might be a barrier to adoption. So we're working as hard as possible to understand what is it you guys want out of a system. Obviously, being part of Keller Williams, this is a part of your technology fee. This is free for you to use, and our whole goal is just to make this as efficient as best as possible for you to use, because one is we're aligned, right? Being a broker and being the agent is, the more business for you, the more food you put on your table, obviously the more profitable Keller Williams is. But the most importantly is the more you can leverage this system to use and leverage what you're doing, where you're spending money elsewhere on, is the more we can lower your expenses that you can reinvest in your business. And so that's the whole goal of this vision and building this technology, is to allow you to be able to do that. So cool. So we walked through Command. Now what's up next? Go to agent.kw.com, add yourself, be the first contact, we'll see what it's like to add a contact in there, and then attend the Connect Live session on contacts. That's a great way to get started, to understand of how you can import your database, how you can get comfortable, and once you have your database in there, then maybe you can do a smart plan. Maybe you can create a marketing asset and send it out to a few people. Maybe you can add them to a neighborhood, or if they have their address, we'll actually auto add their neighborhoods in there. You can send them that neighborhood landing page and see how they feel about it, get their feedback. It's just another reason to have a touch with them. It's something new, a new way to engage with them. So encourage you to do that. And who knows, maybe one of the contacts you talk to in your database is one of those 10 or 12% that are looking to move, and you can get a deal out of it. So anything can happen when you communicate with your database. So cool, guys. So that's pretty much it for this session. I would love to go deeper and longer and do more, because again, Command does so much. Really, I'm going to open it up to any questions or highs you guys have that you might want me to answer or re-show. And while you guys are doing that, real quick summary, showed you how you can find applications, how you can go in the settings, manage different integrations, as well as completing the marketing profile, super crucial. And then how you can just access help. You can go to ideas.kw.com and post ideas and interact in labs. And so anyway, pick your next steps. And then if you need access to more resources, don't forget the ones I showed you: Connect Live, Tech-Enabled Agent. And then lastly, let us know what we can do better. Let me know how I can do these sessions better. Please go to Kelly, take the course evaluation, or visit this URL down below, and just let us know. Participate in labs. Let us know what we can do better. That's what we're all about, right? That's the journey we're all on. And honestly, we couldn't do it without you guys. So appreciate you guys attending. I don't see any questions. Marguerite, Bruce, thank you guys for attending. Have a good July 4th and enjoy the weekend. And I will hopefully see you back here soon. Thank you.